1FM Love Songs with Singapore's original love guru, Simon Lim.
Yes, indeed. This is Simon Lim back here on 1FM Love Songs in case you just joined us. And I have a special guest. So surprise. Usually on Fridays, I don't have a guest. But tonight I have a special guest. He is Wai Teik, and he's a professional photographer, also a fitness instructor, personal trainer actually. And he's also Singapore's ambassador for MuscleTech. So welcome to 1FM 91.3, Wai Teik.
Thank you.
In case we want to let our listeners know how you look like, I think some of them have already seen you on my social media on Facebook, Instagram, and I think you've got quite a bit of likes because he's quite a hunky guy.
Thank you.
And the reason why he's here also is to share more about, photography, also about fitness. And this evening, let's just talk a little bit about, who you are, because, you're a MuscleTech Singapore brand ambassador, a fitness instructor, and also a fairly well-known professional photographer. But what really defines you, Wai Teik?
Well, very interesting question. Actually, I would think it's duality, and yin and yang is the contrast. The fact that I actually straddle between fitness and photography, these two industries, it seems like it's in conflict actually, but because they're like different end of the spectrum.
On one end is like so creative, exactly. And then the other end is like, whoa, we've got all these guys, who are really into competitive fitness, bodybuilding, two extremes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I like the fact that I'm doing both, and actually I see myself as a sculptor. One is sculpting with light, one is sculpting with the physique. Yeah. So, and interestingly, my horoscope is Pisces, so two fishes.
Oh, okay. And of
so
course,
there's always duality.
You need a good eye, right, in both, because you need to have that good eye for, all the different muscle groups, and that good eye also in photography, seeing, whether people pose correctly, and after that, there's the processing and all that, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, MuscleTech, right? So how did you become MuscleTech, Singapore's brand ambassador? It's quite a prestigious title, I believe.
Yeah, first of all, I think it's a great honor to be part of the team. It is the number one selling bodybuilding supplement in North America, and it's been around for 24 years. So I think why they chose me, well, I think it's because I have an encompassing quality, which means like my contributions to the fitness industry, and the fact that I have a unique and successful creative portfolio. And I think the most important thing is alignment of core values.
So what would that be?
Okay, I think I believe in sustainability, and then they are doing health. I believe in able to continue doing what I'm doing for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Yeah, so sustainability is one very important thing. And then trust. I think trust is very important. We have been trusted for 24 years. And for my two businesses, which is photography as well as fitness, I think trust is very important. The clients have to trust you to deliver results. So I think that's why I suppose that's how I'm a great fit to promote the brand.
Okay. And what is one personal struggle or challenge that you have had to overcome fitness? Because we all have our own issues with certain health, right? Problems, for example, an injured shoulder or a torn ligament or something. And then, that hinders us in our, exercise or gym workouts. So what was that challenge for you or struggle?
I would say one. Can I say two?
Yeah, sure. Oh dear.
Yeah, the first major one was actually about 12 years ago.
Okay.
When I was diagnosed with prolapse disc. So I think my whole world fell apart, prolapse disc, which is like slip disc. And then I thought, okay, I better compete, which actually pushed me to compete in year 2009, and that's how I won Mr. Singapore. I think it spurred me to do that, and that was the first struggle that I had. The second struggle is very recent. It happened only about 2 months back. I was appointed ambassador for MuscleTech. I was really happy. And then my surgeon told me I had to go for a surgery, assist in the nerve, or right arm. Again, my whole world fell apart. I'm like, oh my God, second time. What is this? Like, am I supposed to... I need to take a break, so which I took a break. And I'm trying to come back, going to the gym slowly. So again, it's another struggle. Yeah.
So that road to recovery can be quite challenging, right? Mentally as well, because is there pain like in the recovery process as well, like to physical pain?
Funny thing is no pain, is numbness.
Oh.
As in, this cyst in the nerve actually caused numbness and not pain. So I didn't feel anything. So ironically, it's a loss of feeling that make me feel panicky.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So, of course, my first thought is, oh my God, am I going to lose the ambassadorship just when I gotten it? So I actually emailed the marketing director. He's based in Canada. I said, now look here, I got something to tell you right now. I'm going to have a surgery and everything. Then he told me, no, go ahead. We're still going to retain you as ambassador. Talk about a recovery process. Talk about how the brand has helped you to grow. So I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Pretty understanding, people who are actually your sponsors, right?
Yes.
So that's great. Now, we all know that you're a professional photographer for, fashion shoots as well as commercials. But could you describe some works, perhaps, that you've done that you're really proud of? People, places, products, something really memorable.
I think the most recent work that I did was I'm proud of is it's entitled Offerings.
Oh,
it's
Offerings.
Actually, Offerings exhibition that I did last year. It's a tribute to the Chinese culture. When we burn offerings for the deceased.
Yes.
And the rituals, the processes. What I like how I interpret it from a modern perspective. Yeah. So that is one piece that I'm really proud of. Yeah, it's won an award as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then the other one that I'm really proud of was I worked with Hu Bing, who is a celebrity and model in China. And that was actually a commercial work from a very commercial client in fashion retail in China. So what happened was they gave me full creative license, which I was shocked. They said, do whatever you want. So it became very editorial. Usually I have this two spectrum, if it's very editorial, how should I say? It's something we want to do as photographers. We like our work to be editorial, meaning my style can be seen, my identity can be seen. Commercial work usually is the client will have a say. So this interesting project was I have full creative license, and then which means that I could do whatever I want, and it won a few awards. So I was really happy with that. And then the other project I was really happy with was the Asian Next Top Model, where I was in one of the episodes. Yeah, I was the photographer shooting for them, and it was a very technical shoot. I had to shoot for Neutrogena and freezing the water, so it was difficult to shoot in front of a huge TV crew as well. It's a bit pressurizing, delivering in front of everybody. So that was one of the projects that I'm happy with as well.
What really inspires you in your photography?
There are many levels. If it's personal level, I would say it's my father. My father passed away when I was young. He gave me a camera, the Canon AE1, obsolete model. But I think that sparked my interest. So you're talking about what inspired me. My father inspired me first. If you're talking about in general, different genres, different disciplines inspire me. Architecture, paintings, fashion, all these inspire me. And perhaps the one that I get the greatest inspiration from is traveling. Yeah, when I travel, I get really inspired.
Where have you traveled to? Europe.
Yeah, but interesting. I was in Israel last year.
Okay,
and Jordan.
Oh, that's a fantastic place. I'd love to go there.
Petra was amazing. Yeah, and then we stayed overnight in the desert, overlooking the stars in the night, and that was amazing. So things like that, trips like that inspire me.
How do you think the current landscape is for photographers, with digital technology right now versus the old days of working in the dark room with negatives?
Okay, when you say darkroom technique, it's like you need to do dodging and burning in the dark room versus Photoshop right now. You just click, dodge, burn with a click of a button. So I think the turnaround time is a lot faster these days. Faster doesn't mean it's good because it doesn't mean it's bad. You still need to understand where the basic techniques come from. So different techniques, but you need to be conceptually strong, and you should know what you're trying to say. So I think the traditional methods is like you instill discipline, work ethics. You must have a good, strong grasp basics of photography, And I think in order to be a good photographer, the skill set, the experience, and the artistic flair still set us apart from everybody else.
So you heard it, one of them listeners, in case, you want to be a big photographer like Wai Teik. Those are the tips for you, because we do have some, budding photographers who are listeners of 1FM 91.3. In the studio with me is Wai Teik, a very professional photographer. I think people in the fashion industry know him very well. And of course, we have him also as MuscleTech Singapore's brand ambassador, and he's also a fitness instructor. So if you want to look at his pictures, you should just go to my 1FM Love Songs Facebook page or my Instagram, simonlim.sg, and you'll see him as a real beefy guy, okay? And tell us, what is your own Instagram ID?
Is WAITEIK. I have two. So one is fitness and one is photo.
Okay, so folks, there you go. You can just, I think some people are going to go into the site right now and have a look at you, okay? But you can also go to my 1FM Love Songs page, because I just posted a photo of both of us here in the studio of 1FM 91.3. And let's talk about something serious about life. So, who are some people who have taught you much about life? Because, when someone makes it, in their career as a well-known professional photographer, also MuscleTech's, brand ambassador for Singapore, there must be something about him, right? Someone who has taught you well. So who has taught you really, really well, and what words do you remember from them?
My mom.
Oh, your mom. Okay. Good old mom, yes.
I think since young, she has taught me to treat others how I want to be treated. And that is something that I try to do as well. Not that I'm as good as her, but I remember those words that she told me when I was young. Yeah. So my mom is one of them. The other person that has a great influence on me very recently, as recent as about 2-3 weeks ago, is Ajahn Brahm. I've been listening to him on YouTube, and one thing he's saying is about meditation. And I realized I was doing all wrong. I've been meditating and asking for things. So greedy, right? So apparently it's not about reaching something, not to attain anything, but to let go of things. It's so difficult to let go of things.
Actually, I do think we do have a couple of listeners who actually practice meditation, so they'll find that pretty beneficial. And how would you, view life now compared to, let's say, 12 to 15 years, on, and I think we all, take on new experiences in life. So, from 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and right now, who you are, right? What do you think is your view of life?
15 years ago, I think I was chasing for awards, accolades, acknowledgement. And then that you have achieved something, you're happy for a while. Maybe 2-3 months, I'm happy. And after that, there's a hollow feeling like, oh, what's next? And then I realized that the monetary gains is really not crucial at all. Really not crucial. So now I realize that what I want is meaningful relationships with people. I have a lot of problem with that, And I want to explore the true meaning of life. And I realize it's really a journey. And I'm still learning. Still work in progress.
That's right. We all are. Actually, everyone is still learning in life. You never stop learning, right? And you want to be a better version of yourself, right?
Exactly.
All the time. So in just a while, we're going to talk a little bit about, some tips from you, because I think the guys who are watching you, they're like, oh my gosh, how can I get that physique, right? So give us some tips about being muscular and ribbed. And of course, we'll talk a little bit about your school days, but let's talk a little bit about fitness and wellness, really up your alley. Were you always a sporty guy in school?
No.
Really? It's hard to imagine.
I've not revealed this before. And
Okay.
It's very embarrassing.
Yes.
And I'm not very proud of it. I was a librarian.
Oh, a librarian. Okay.
Very dorky.
Like
I
a
was-
Clark Kent.
Yeah, no, I was really dorky. Really
Okay.
dorky. And what led me into gym training was probably, in the 80s, right? Bodybuilders are given prominent roles in the movies. So you look at the movies like, oh no, maybe I can become like that. Maybe a fraction of it. So at first it appearance, then after that I enjoyed the process, and then it got me hooked. And that's how I got started in bodybuilding and fitness.
Interesting, from the movies, inspired from the movies,
Yeah.
right? So guys like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That era, yeah.
Yes. And they had like really fit physiques, right? So what led you to get into that gym training, like, because looking at pictures and movies is one thing, right? Really stepping into the gym. A lot of people have that problem. They say, I want to be like that, but to get that step into the gym is another thing.
So the thing is, yes, you don't look like that, but the thing is, I enjoy the process. You must enjoy the process of sweating, or the fact that the muscles going to ache for a few days. Otherwise, a lot of people will do it for 2-3 years, and then the interest dwindle.
What's your secret to really looking muscular and ripped? Because it's not easy. Some guys can go to the gym a lot. Like for me, right? I do go to the gym, but to get that, physique, right? It's not so simple because on one hand, if you want to pile on mass, right, it might be adding on like kilos, right? Then at the same time, you want to have the cutting, right?
Yeah.
So some people can say like, I think there's a Chinese term like ba, right? And then
Well, the interesting, you see how the secret looking muscular and ripped. I'm not ripped right now, okay? I'm a fat ass right now because I haven't been gymming thanks to my surgery.
Okay.
So the only thing you can do is nutrition and cardio. You are what you eat, actually. That's really simple.
Now, what are some, wellness or fitness tips you have for one of them listeners? Because they range in age, like 30s, 40s, or even those from the 50s to the 70s. And I don't think like a guy who's like 70-year-old will say, I want to live like really heavy weights and be very muscular. But I do think that some 60-year-olds may say that, hey, it's time for me to have a nice retirement, but I want to look good at the same time. So what's your advice?
My advice is start now. Okay.
That's an order.
Because I've spoken to so many people, I don't look like that. I don't look like, I said, do it. I said, start with, going to do something you enjoy. It can be simple. I'm not asking you to lift weights in the gym straight away. No, you can go for a jog. You can go for a swim. You can start with body exercises at home. And then for diet-wise, you can try doing one clean meal first a week. I'm not asking you to go cold turkey and all out to eat clean. A lot of people cannot do that. So try ease in a little bit. And then another thing is sustainability. From 30s to 40s to 60s, how do you sustain? I think that's very important. I don't want people to do it and then they fall out because they have no more interest. And in terms of, you're asking me whether 70s you can do... No, okay, for instance, if you're in the 30s, you can do a squat with, let's say, 100 kilograms on your back. Fine. But if you're 70, no. Use your own body weight. As long as you activate your core, do it correctly, and then activate the correct muscles, you feel the correct muscles being used, I think it's fine.
Okay, great tips there from Wai Teik. And there you heard it. I mean, he's the MuscleTech Singapore brand ambassador. So in just a while, we're going to talk a little bit about hope, because I think that's a very, very important thing that everyone in society really, really needs this moment, in their own lives, right? Everybody wants hope, that sense of hope. But what does hope mean to you? So what do you hope for at this stage of your life?
Just one thing, actually. Happiness.
Oh, okay. So what does happiness mean to you?
It's letting go of the past, embracing the present, and stop worrying about the future. And that is something that I can't do. I'm still learning how to do it.
I think, it takes a lot. Easier said than done, right? But I think many 1FM listeners can resonate with what you just said, because it's so important for you to let go.
Yes.
Many things in life, affect us. So it could be a hurt past, right?
Yes.
And you got to let go. Everybody has that little bit of that hurt deep inside, whether it's pain or something like that. It could be something that happened at work, something that happened in their personal family life as well. So good that you pointed that out. But let's also ask you about something more lighthearted at the same time. We all need to unwind, because life can be quite stressful in our urban city living, modern day technology nonstop. That's like, all these messages coming in at the same time, and you've got things to deliver with your deadlines. So how do you really unwind after, a long day? For example, let's say after a photo shoot, or perhaps, in those days when you were preparing for that competition?
I'm doing Chinese calligraphy right now. It's very meditative.
Oh, therapeutic.
Very therapeutic. And I listen to talks on spirituality. And then I enjoy watching art house movies. And the funny thing is, they say unwind. Actually, going to the gym is unwinding for me.
I think that's great because I do that as well. Mentally over the years when I go to the gym, I feel more relaxed when I, just exercise.
Exactly.
It makes me feel like I'm getting out of that box in the room, whatever room that could be, or your house. You feel that you're just de-stressing somehow.
I agree. And the serotonin is released.
Yes, indeed. And in just a while, we're going to also find out from you more about, what drives you, because I think that's something that 1FM listeners can certainly, appreciate. What drives someone to do something that they're passionate about. I'm going to ask you, Wai Teik, what really drives you to do better?
Pride.
Pride?
Pride. And my competitive nature that drives me. Usually what I'll do, I'll look back at my milestones. I'll look at tick. Oh, I want to accomplish more. Then I'm happy for a while. Then I'll be like, oh, what's next? So that can be good. That could be a driving, motivating force. But it can be bad because, you're never happy. Which is why I need to meditate more.
So there's a little bit of that dichotomy, huh?
Yes.
Then how do you envision yourself, let's say, at the age of 80? Because not many of us do that. Everybody's so busy with our day-to-day life. We live in the present. But sometimes it's really good to have that long-term vision, right? To see yourself like at that age.
Walao, no, I can't see myself at that age. Honestly, I can't. To me, quality of life is more important than duration.
Okay.
Honestly, when I was much younger, 20s, I thought I'm not going to live beyond 50. I'm coming close to 50 already, so I don't know what's next. So I can't answer that question.
What is your philosophy for life? Something for the 1FM listeners to take home, because I know many of these people are tuning in and they love this segment whereby, I get to interview a special guest to really, put a profile on them, to put the spotlight on them.
My philosophy is always strive for things for yourself, but not at the expense of others. For me, no one's going to give you everything on a silver platter, So that the ethos of fitness is hard work, discipline, character building, work for it, not born with it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Wai Teik, my special guest on 1FM Love Songs here on 1FM 91.3. And tell us once again how they can find you. What's the URL or that little tag?
Hashtag. Okay, so it's WAITEIK fitness and WAITEIK photo. Thank you.
Thank you for opening up on 1FM Love Songs.
Not hearing your favorite song?
That's a fact.
1FM VIPs can control the playlist.
Are y'all ready?
Let's go. So become a VIP for free now at 1FM.sg or 1FM's Facebook page and take control of Singapore's home of good times, greatest hits. 1FM 91.3.